Hello and welcome to season 2, episode 19 of Jacked Up Ming Frank. I'm your host, Jackie Blonowitz. Jackie Blonowitz here with my co-host Frank Aranio. And today we are going to be discussing a lot about the NBA, of course, because the NBA is in full swing. And the Knicks they're getting matchups they don't really want, but they got a back to back. They didn't get they played the Spurs a few days ago, and then last night, they blew them out. Not blew them out. They won, and then tonight they last night they got out there and they beat they got out there and they lost by 3 to the OKC Thunder. In a heartbreaking loss where Knicks had good looks at the end. So then we'll get into some World Baseball Classic. Are you guys watching? We'll get into that. Um, how entertaining that is. Have our thoughts, and then Frank will lead us with with college basketball and all that stuff. So we want to start with some NBA standings updates.
Yeah, Jack, go for it. Let's talk
East,
NBA. The Knicks had two big games recently
yeah,
against the two powerhouses, if you want to call them that. Certainly Oklahoma City, but if you want to call San Antonio that as well, so definitely worth breaking down those games.
yeah. Okay. San Antonio, great win there. The Knicks just they let Wemby do his thing, but they really controlled every bit else. I think when we came here and talked about the Spurs, we were talking about how deep of a team they are. But what I think a lot of coaches will do is they will say, okay, screw it. Like, this guy's going to score and this guy's going to be amazing. Let's just let him do that. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to let players like Julian Champagnie, players that the average fan wouldn't even know about, have 20 points and lead and help them get the win. Um, in the last few games before that, Wemby was not really playing that well, averaging like 12, having like a 12-point game here or there. Yeah, the win against the Philly where they won by 40 the game after that, he had 10 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 blocks, which is ridiculous. But that's not a Wemby game. That's not the Wemby game we think. We think higher points. But no, they were able to get the win, and it wasn't just because of Wemby. It was because of other players on the squad. 12 points against Brooklyn in a win. 12 points against. And these are all amazing block games, but you get what I mean. The thing about the Spurs, they're a very deep team, and the Knicks did a very good job limiting all the others. They had the ability to do that. You just have to put your mind to it and know what you're going to go in there to do, and they did that. Wemby was seeing OG Anunoby, he was seeing Mitchell Robinson, but they really hung in on the rest of the guys. De'Aaron Fox is a guy that usually has 20 points a game, has a very good people know him around the league as a very good player, and he only had 7 points. So Knicks did a great job in that game, limiting the others. And then let's get into them. Mikal Bridges is a heck of a game. Shot the ball very well. Jalen Brunson is Jalen Brunson. Josh Hart, 10 and 10 and 7 assists, just doing everything. OG Anunoby, I don't really care. 12 points, 5 rebounds, but that whole 212. That the reason the Knicks pay him 212 is especially in games like that where he's guarding Victor Wembanyama. Yes, he's not going to win every single time. Yes, he may have got postered, but he does a good enough job. Does a great job for a guy his size. And you can do that. It's especially huge when you have a guy like Karl-Anthony Towns who cannot play defense at points. You really don't want to have that guy on Wemby. You do what you do with OG Anunoby on him, and that's why you pay him the big bucks. Karl-Anthony Towns does his work enough on the boards. Mohamed Diawara, he shot 4 for 13, but his impact was the shooting percentage shot 35%, but it felt like he was, and I think he tweeted it felt like he went 4 for 4. Yeah, every shot that this kid hit was huge. And Knicks need players like that. Knicks need players on low deals that could step in there, hit some threes, and really have their own role. And especially a young player can. I mean, the sky's the limit for this dude. So for now, Knicks need a role player, and he's going to step into that. But the sky's the limit for this guy. He's 14 points. Had three threes last night against OKC, but Mohamed Diawara is a guy on people's radar as a guy that can come in, especially for a team like the Knicks. Knicks don't need people off the bench that are crazy, averaging 20 points per game, and that stuff. Like Knicks don't need that. Knicks need guys who can come in there, step up and hit threes. And you have Jose Alvarado, given the Knicks what they want. 3 and 5 is underwhelming, but he's giving them what he wants. Pestering defense, everything. And Mitchell Robinson played defense against Wemby, which was huge. So yeah, I mean that's the breakdown of the Spurs game. I don't know if Mr. Arenio wants to chime in on the game. I mean, Knicks really showed out against the contender.
Well, I think it shows a lot, Jack. I mean, they blew them out at the Garden on Sunday. The defensive effort, I mean, giving up 89 points. I mean, 89
Yeah,
points in today's NBA, that's an incredible defensive performance. So you have to love that. And the Knicks have played San Antonio really well this year in the two games. They lost 134 to 132 in the game at San Antonio. That was on New Year's Eve. Much different game, really high scoring. But you got to love that the Knicks have been highly competitive with San Antonio, and again, just absolutely took it to them at the Garden. So, again, I say this often when we talk about the NBA. I don't think you can make too big a deal about regular season NBA, but it's not that it doesn't mean anything. So, you look at how the Knicks fared against San Antonio, and I think you got to draw a lot of positives from it.
yeah, you got to. And the way the Knicks were able to pull away, get that win, it was really nice. I mean, Knicks were steady shipping the whole entire game. Um, and it was good to see the response. And I think the biggest thing is a response to other teams. They didn't fold. They could have easily been like, okay, we came out to this big lead. Let's just let the Spurs take over and let's lose this game. But let's lose this game trying hard that we had a great run in the first half. Then the Spurs got hot and we couldn't stop it. But no, they kept their head. They kept their head and they kept clawing at that game and kept extending that lead, which was huge. And I think that gets you into the next game against the Raptors, which I know that we don't want to discuss that, but Knicks did a great job of just, a team. I know the Raptors, I think they're frauds. They're not going to do anything. But they've done a good job
But
this
it's still
season.
against a pretty good team. It's on the road. Like
Yeah.
we
But
neglected that game to start. We said San Antonio and Oklahoma City, which is very understandable. But I mean, that's a solid win at Toronto. Again, a good defensive effort. I mean, you anytime you give up less than 100 points in
yeah,
today's NBA, you've done a very good job defensively. So, you sandwich that game between the San Antonio and Oklahoma City game, and it's that's a very good 3 game stretch for the Knicks.
well, I think it was very important because it was a 95-91 game. I just have this real app where it tells me the back. So I don't have anything between 621 to 437, but 621 left in the game. 95-91 Knicks. Knicks could have folded. It could have been the old time saying the home team takes that team home. Especially the Raptors team and especially in Toronto, Canada, where they ride that country rides for their team. They could definitely take that team to that victory. They could just ride on that crowd's back and get to that win. But the Knicks weren't going to allow it, and they did a great job collectively. I mean, of course, Jalen Brunson did his thing. But Knicks together, they locked in and they were able to extend that lead and make the win, make the score look worse than it was for them. The Raptors were in this game, by the way. I think the score made it look worse than it was, but this was a very close game. The Raptors, just really fell apart at the end, and it was a credit to what the Knicks were able to do. And I think honestly, in my opinion, I know this might be crazy, but this is one of the most impressive. I've seen this year because of the way how poised they were. They looked like the more experienced team, which was great. They looked like the more talented team. They looked like they were the team that spent all that money. That's a team that I saw. And it's not okay. You blow them up by 30. Oh, that's impressive. But they were able to just you know lock in at that right time, and you need that ability, especially in the playoffs, because teams will wear you down in the playoffs. You'll have hard moments, but it's about as a team, collectively we had the talent, put it together, and the Knicks put it together in a big way against Toronto, and they extend that lead. So that game was, I feel like, more impressive to me than I think people think because of. I know it's a regular season game, but it was impressive to see them come together and not accept defeat because it could have been easy. Okay, it's regular season, take a loss there to Toronto. No, they came in there and I think they're 4-0 against Toronto this year.
Hey, you gotta like that. You take care of business against a pretty good team. Like you said, you don't consider them to be real contenders. I mean, they're not winning the East. They're not going deep in the playoffs, but they are a pretty good, respectable NBA team. And to take care of business against them and to sweep them 4-0, you got to like that. Again, I don't want to make too big a deal about it, but it's taking care of business.
Taking care of business and taking care of business of a team that is good. Like, it's not just taking care of business of like the Utah Jazz on a random Sunday. No, it's taking care of business of the Raptors, who are hungry. Down 3-0 in the series. It's not the playoffs, but you know what I mean. This is not a the Knicks and Raptors. The Raptors want to get a win against this team, especially with they're looking up at this team and they want to beat like that. So they want to get a win, and the Knicks weren't going to let that happen. So that was huge, and it's good that they're taking care of business, but they're taking care of business of teams that are good, which is good to see because the Knicks are really separate. You see wins like that against the Raptors and them taking care of business, separating themselves. Yes, the Knicks could win the season series against a team like the Raptors, but the real thing is just taking care of business. That shows a separation between the good and great in the league. Is the between the Raptors and Knicks the real separation, which is good because the Raptors are a very good team. So separating from them in a good way shows that you're great.
How about the game last night against Oklahoma City? Break that
Um,
one down.
that game was tough. That game was really. I think honestly, I'm a guy that's very negative when the buzzer goes off in the Knicks. Of course I am, but I'm not like, oh, it's another game. But this was one of this where it was just another game, and the Knicks fought hard, and it is what it is. Knicks had two shots at the end. I'm just gonna break down the last play where Brunson came off a screen. Sometimes teams want to foul down three, which up three, which it's a good move, but I hate it because we want to see players take threes for the tie. It's kind of what highlights are for, and they just ruin that. But they need a foul, so Brunson comes off. He has to take a kind of difficult look. I think it was open for Brunson. The thing is, shots that you might think are difficult are probably open for Jalen Brunson most of the time. Like, yes, it might have looked like a difficult shot, but that's Jalen Brunson taking it in a clutch time situation. It goes off the heel. I think it tips out to OG. OG takes a step back behind the line because if he shot two, wouldn't have mattered. Um, it wouldn't have mattered. It would have been terrible. That would have been awful. But he took a step back, shot the three, set his feet, just was too short. You see the Garden Arena. I mean that it's like a pin drop in there when he shot that ball. The Brunson ball, yes, there's a kind of pin drop in the arena, but that OG shot, man, I feel like Manhattan, all the boroughs were silent on that for that millisecond when the ball went up. Um, yeah, it was short, but great game. Hang in there against a team like that. Not just hang in there, have a chance to win. Don't think they would have won in overtime because it's the second game of back to back. But again, the Knicks. I think this is a win for me. I know I'm not taking I don't know what it's called
Moral victories?
moral victories. But in the regular season, I guess you got to do that because sometimes
Well, especially the second game of a back to back. Oklahoma City, was it a back to back for them, or they had time off before the game? Because that's a factor.
they played on their last game. No, they had a back to back. They played the Bulls. Knicks played the Raptors. Yeah, they were on a back to back too.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
So then
still,
take that out of the equation. Actually,
I don't know why they're doing this. I
a
mean,
bit more difficult for Oklahoma
honestly,
City
the
because they were on the road.
Yeah, Adam Silver, man, I don't know why he would make this on.
That's poor scheduling.
I know that's awful. Because this, honestly, I was looking at my mom. My mom was saying, "Oh, could this be the NBA Finals?" I'm like, "Yes, it definitely could be." And you're putting that on, you know, like back to
That's poor
back.
scheduling. You want to have those two teams playing at least with 1 day rest.
Yeah, yeah. Good job battling. Knicks did. At least they were equal in the point that they were didn't play the back to back. But Brunson, I mean, you can see OKC Thunder kind of have the kind of did a great job on him. I mean, let's say it as it is. I mean, they did a great job. Jalen Brunson in the end, I mean, shot he. I don't think it matters what defense you can put on him. He'll find a way to make an impact in the late game. But I just think that's point blank period. But Casey Wallace, Lou Dort, Alex Caruso, man, the OKC Thunder have guys to throw at Jalen Brunson, and uh, um, it was just Jalen Brunson was in a bind for the first. I saw, it was really odd for him.
He had
To get
15 assists.
Yeah, 15 assists was huge, but I think their plan was to force him to give the ball up as well. But you know, Josh Hart, good game there. Landry
Towns
Shamet,
fouled out of the game.
Towns fouled out. Um,
I'm looking at the box score. Towns, 17 points, 17 rebounds. He was a minus 18 in the plus minus. So is that because of his defense? I mean, how are you 17-17, but then you're minus 18 in the plus minus?
his defense, I saw one play where he was just in a bind defensively. Yeah, the OKC Thunder will do that to you. And I think the biggest thing is with and Chet Holmgren at 28, so yeah, there it is. Chet Holmgren has 28. I mean, you can say guard Isaiah Hartenstein at 0 points, and didn't even shoot. But you know, um, man, it was hard for him defensively. I mean, the Thunder will do that to you. You can't really be lazy. You can't do that because whatever Towns does. To be fair to him, whatever Towns does, probably it slides against like the Raptors. But I don't think like the Thunder are just too attention to detail to let Carthy Towns have a lazy second on the court. Like he had one time where he just didn't match up, was trying to point to two people, didn't know who to guard, and there goes Chet Holmgren down the lane on a pick and roll, and Knicks called timeout. I just think there was times where it was hard for him in this game, which I mean I think regular season doesn't mean anything for the playoffs, but man, um, you see this team in the NBA Finals. Towns may be a problem because they do a good job, and I don't think it's like, oh, Towns is this terrible terrible defender, but I mean he is, but I don't think it's like his fault. I just think that the Thunder will take advantage of you, like if you're having a lazy possession, if you're playing not good defense, like you won't get away with it. You can't hide against this Thunder team.
Yeah.
That's the word. So I would have loved Mitch for this game too, but he was out. So they were missing their All Star. I don't know if he was in the All Star. He was of course not in the All Star game this year. Jalen Williams. They're missing the other Jalen Williams, the good one. Um, but Thunder were able to get it done, and good for them. They had a very solid game. Um, yeah, I
Well, the Knicks
mean,
were down 10 at halftime, and then they had an incredible third quarter. They scored
Yeah.
40 points. Knicks were up 3 at the end of 3. So, I mean, they showed something there. I mean, they're down at halftime, not looking good, and then they storm out of the gate in the third
Yeah, I know.
quarter.
Like right out of the right out of the gate, the Thunder were up by 15. Like at a point, I was like, maybe I'll look away for a second. But the Knicks kept battling, which I think is the theme of those 3 games. First game was the blowout that we talked about, but Knicks were battling for those 3 games, which is huge to see for a team that you know is not playing like they're all locked up on contracts. They're in the regular season, like, but they played tough tonight. They played really tough, which I think sometimes I yell and I'd be like, "Oh, you're playing soft, whatever." That'd be me being fan talk, but I think I mean it here. I mean, they played really tough today, and other than other games where I would yell, they're playing soft. They played tough, and I think they need to. And it's just another example. I think you bring up the defense. 103 points, only 103 to the OKC Thunder, which is very good.
Yeah, you'll take that.
Yeah. Now,
And the Knicks have Oklahoma City one more time. They play them on March
yeah,
29th on the road.
don't know if that'll. Yeah, and then the Knicks play another game. I mean, I know the Nuggets March 6th. I know the Nuggets. I don't know what they've been doing the last few games.
Well, the Knicks
I
have a
don't.
road trip now. Denver, at the Lakers, at the Clippers, at the Jazz, and at the Pacers. I mean, you got 2 garbage teams in there at the end.
Yeah, the Clippers and the Jazz. Yeah, I mean it's still tough for the Knicks, and always. I mean they're gonna go to Indiana, which is they could be 0-70 or something like that. It's still gonna be tough to play in Indiana or even playing at MSG. Even more tough playing at MSG. They love to play there. I think they just want people to get the win because they're not playing at MSG. But yeah, I mean it's gonna be tough. March 13th against the Pacers still. Yeah, I mean it's gonna be, and they play them again on the 17th. So they got to figure out to sweep that. They have to. I need everybody healthy too. You can't just not rest. You can't just rest. I mean they've knocked you out two rounds in a row. But whatever. 2 years in a row. But whatever. I think the East is very tight. You see, actually, I don't know if you heard, but Tatum is coming back tomorrow for the Celtics.
Could be a big game changer. We've been talking about him for a while. I mean, really, we've been mentioning him the whole season.
I've kind of brushed him aside because didn't want him to come. Actually, I didn't want him to come back, but I want him to get healed. Let's be honest here. But no, I think that you could say, yeah, now the Celtics offense is going to be around Tatum and could be around Tatum and it could be a guy that's not 100% good, not 100% back. But yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
if he comes back strong, I mean, this doesn't bode well for the rest of the East.
doesn't it
They're
doesn't
41 and 21 without him. I mean, if we got to see him, like if he comes back and it's clear that he's strong, which I would think he will be. Like he's not going to come back if there's uncertainty.
yeah, I mean
So he's going
he's
to
not
come
dumb.
back. It's going to take him some time to get in the flow of the game. And
Yeah, he tried to rush, not rush back, but he got back a little quicker than expected. But he's not dumb. He's
but
not dumb.
now he's got 20 regular season games to get himself ready for the playoffs. I mean, is Boston the favorite in the East with him back? I mean, the way they've played all year, now getting him back, like
I don't know if
I think it's tough to argue
I think
against them being the favorite in the East.
I would have to really look. I think, yeah, and they are the favorite in the East, but I just feel
And then I'm kind of worried about the Knicks versus them because these two teams are lined up to meet in the second round, 2-3. Right now, Boston's 2. So Tatum coming back, I think, gives Boston the leg up to get the 2 seed. Now, look, the Knicks last year did not have home court advantage. They beat the Celtics. They beat them the first 2 games in Boston, those incredible comebacks. But the thing that worries me is the revenge factor. Boston wanting to get back at the Knicks for last year. Now, look, the Knicks are going to have all the incentive in the world to beat the Celtics again. But like that concerns me though. Like the Celtics having that motivation now, making up for last year. Because last year was such a disaster for them, that series. I mean, they were overwhelming favorites. They were like what, 9-1 favorites going into that series. There wasn't anybody on earth that thought the Knicks were winning that series. There was no one. I remember we were talking about, like, is it going to be a competitive series? And we both said we thought the series would be competitive, but there was no one that was going to pick. There was no one that picked the Knicks to win that series, and then they went on to win it. I just think that revenge factor, the Celtics getting back at the Knicks and just everything aligning up for the Celtics, where they've had this really good regular season without Tatum. They're in the 2 position right now in the East. They got the 2nd seed. It's not locked up, but they're in good shape for it. It's a game changer. Again, we got to see how Tatum comes back, but he's got 20
they're
games.
really simple. Like, this is Knicks Celtics gonna be really good for a viewer that is a Knicks Celtics fan, because that series is gonna be really, because I feel like those teams are very close talent wise. Like, I think Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are a great duo, but Knicks have Cat and Jalen Brunson, and the Knicks have guys around him, but the Celtics have Derek White, the Knicks have Mikal and OG Anunoby,
Yeah, I don't want to minimize what the Knicks did last year, because again, they did an incredible job. The Celtics certainly had a hand in that. I mean, the way the Celtics play, that first game, they were 15 for 60 from 3, like just chucking 3 after 3. And I mean, their strategy, their approach is just terrible. But it was a combination of that and the Knicks and their resilience and the way they played. And again, ultimately, the Knicks won that series. It was an incredible upset victory. I just think it's going to be tough to do that again. With the Celtics, having this unexpected regular season. I mean, nobody was predicting them to do what they've done. It was like, all right, they'll be a playoff team, but they'll probably, be a lower seed. Maybe avoid the play-in. Maybe be in the top 6. I think that's what the conversation was with the Celtics coming into the year. Like, nobody was expecting them to be in second place in the Eastern Conference right now. And again, you get Tatum back with 20 games to go. Like, that's a lot different than if it was like, oh, he's coming back with 10 games to go, 5 games to go. He's going to give it a try. Like, now he has time to get himself acclimated, get himself ready for the playoffs. The Celtics have time to get everything together as a team with him out there. I don't think this bodes well for the rest of the East. And I don't think it bodes well for the Knicks in the second round.
No, I just
think it's going to be really hard for the Knicks to beat the Celtics again now that Tatum's back. And not that they can't do it. Maybe I'm making too big a deal about the revenge part of this, but things have lined up really well for the Celtics this year. Like, it's gone better than they could have expected, far better than anybody predicted. Now they're in a really good spot.
Yeah, they are in a really good spot. I just they could certainly, because of the Tatum aspect, and that he's going to do a lot of the ball dominating, and it just turns into a 3-point party whenever Tatum comes back. I have that feeling that whenever Tatum comes back, it just starts becoming.
Well, could he upset what the Celtics have had going? Like, I don't want to say the Celtics are going to be a worse team with him. Like, no, that's ridiculous. But you're bringing up a great point here. Like, can Tatum come back, upset what Boston has done this year. Like they've made it work extremely well with the group they have. They still have, I guess you call Brown a superstar or close to it.
Yeah.
So him coming back and the way he plays, you said with the 3-point shooting, like I think they're better off with him. Like I think it'd be ridiculous to say they're better off without him.
Well, it kind of makes Jaylen Brown, like, he's still going to be averaging, like, great points, but it makes him into a little bit less of a player when Tatum has that ball in his hands, because you know what Jaylen Brown turns to do? He turns into a spot-up shooter or a just simple attack the closeout shooter, which he's more than that, but it makes him, like, a little bit less than he's supposed to be, and you saw what he's supposed to be this year, and you saw how good he is with the ball in his hands. And they'll probably take away a lot of that because of what Tatum will do, or maybe Tatum will become that spot up guy once he comes back. I mean, that's probably the best thing is that Tatum just becomes a 40% spot up shooter that can also take the ball off the dribble, take a spot up mid range, or in some aspects, go ISO, but I think Tatum's more of an ISO guy. In a perfect world for the Celtics, he does a lot of just, stand there, shoot it. I know he's more than that, but right now the Celtics have a thing moving, and if he doesn't fit in, then it's going to be bad days for the Celtics because of how much of a thing he holds over the organization. So, not like he's just a big figure in that organization, and that if he doesn't like he needs to fit in. That's the thing is that he needs to fit in, but he is their system. I think that he's going to be their system, which is going to hurt him because that's what he's been.
Yeah, look, again, they're better with him.
Yeah.
And it's going to take some time for them to gel as a team with him back, and there's going to be changes to what they do. But again, overall, it's a very good thing for them. He's back earlier than expected, and again, they got 20 games now to put this together and get it going and get themselves ready for the playoffs. And then they should have a first round series that'll, kind of be more, more of a tune up, I would think. And then it's a second round, really likely against the Knicks. I mean, so we're looking at Boston and New York in the second round again.
Yeah.
Which I think lines up to be a deep series, a really good series, 6 or 7 games.
I really hope Cleveland gets in that. I think it looks like it's going to be New York, Boston, but I hope Cleveland just keeps winning because I don't think they'll do anything. Obviously, we've made this thing, but man, if they get any place in there in that top 3, that'd be very nice. And if that means the Knicks drop, I don't know.
Would you rather the Knicks be 4 and get the Pistons in the second round than the Celtics?
No. I mean, everybody wants revenge against the Knicks. The Knicks just couldn't pull off against the Pacers. Dang, because everybody wants revenge now. And I would argue that the Pistons probably want more revenge because the Celtics can just lose again. They still have all those rings. Still can bring up Larry
I disagree
Bird.
with that because the Celtics are playing not for dynasty this year because you're not a dynasty if you don't win consecutive championships, but they're playing for a chance to build a dynasty. I mean, if they could win the NBA championship this year and get their second with this group, well, then they have a chance to do that. So they're looking to build their legacy here. They went out in the second round to the Knicks last year in a monumental upset. Like, I would say they have even more incentive than the Pistons. And the Pistons have all the incentive in the world too. But yeah, the Celtics are playing to go to that next level. Like they're really good, but now they're trying to get to elite, trying to get into a chance to be a dynasty if they can string together multiple championships in a row. Not going to be easy. I mean, you got Oklahoma City out west. You got San Antonio, who looks like the real deal. Maybe they're a year away, but, they're in the mix. And then, you do have competition in the East with Detroit and New York. I think that's it.
Yeah. I mean, I
But
but
revenge factor, like you can't make too big a deal of it because I mean the Knicks are playing
well, Knicks are
to
also
get to the
playing
NBA
for like
Finals for the first time in 27 years for the franchise, and they're playing for the first championship in 53 years. So the Knicks are playing for big things for the franchise, for the fans, and then for themselves as well.
yeah, Knicks are
I just
playing.
think Tatum coming back, like, look, it's a game changer.
Yeah, it's a huge game changer for them. The Knicks, yeah, I mean it's they're gonna be matching up with the Celtics, and if the Cavs don't make a move here, I think it's gonna be Knicks Celtics in the second round. I mean, I'd love to get it at home. I don't. The Knicks player playing better, way better at home. This year, would love to get that second seed. Um, even though the Knicks do good at the TD Garden, um, I would love to be at home against them.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, like I would not look too much at the 2 wins at TD Garden last year in terms of, you know, home court advantage doesn't matter. I think it definitely does. And those were games where the Knicks were down, I think, 20 points in both of those games. So you can't count on that to be something where you say, oh, the home court doesn't matter. It matters big time. I mean, you get to a game 7, you much rather be in Madison Square Garden than TD Garden if you're the Knicks, and vice versa for Boston.
Yeah. Well, if I was the Knicks,
You want to get the first 2 games at Madison Square Garden, and then game
I'd
5, if it's
game
2-2 in the
seven.
series, like you want game 5 at Madison Square Garden.
I want game 7 nowhere near the Garden or the other, or TD Garden. But yeah, yeah, you would rather have game 7 at Madison Square Garden because yeah, I think the Knicks have been able to get a lot of their wins. I mean, I know the regular season doesn't mean anything like when it comes to that time, but getting those wins against the Spurs at home, being close against the Thunder at home, they've had like a few wins at home that were very impressive too. But all their real impressive wins they beat the Nuggets at home. Like they've had some impressive wins at home. The Lakers or whatever, but beating them at home is cool. Um, yeah, I mean, they've won a lot of games at home that are real good, and they've been close with the Thunder at home. And yeah, I think the home is worth it. Knicks are gonna play the teams the closest and are gonna have the best shot to win. You want that second seed here. Um,
Definitely. I see the Knicks play the Celtics one more time this year at MSG Thursday, April 9th. So that'll be interesting. I mean, can't look too much into the game, but it'll I guess be interesting to some degree. I mean, it could be a game where the 2 seeds on the line.
yeah,
I mean, if it's on the line, I think those if it's on the line, I think both teams have to play that game all out.
yeah, April, yeah. It's a game for home court. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that anybody would be. It's a game for home court. Um, Knicks are 1.5 games back from the second seed, and the Cavs are 1.5 games back from the third seed. So
Well, and if the Knicks beat the Celtics in that last matchup, then they'll have the tiebreak over the Celtics because they would have won the season series 3-1.
yeah, man, the Cavs got to get in there somewhere. I don't think they will. I think Harden, man, that Cavs team is not going to do anything at all. I'm Mr. Positive guy, but not right now. The Cavaliers, man, they're going to do a lot of winning though in this regular season, but man, they don't have the team to do it. But I mean, I guess we'll see. Obviously, I've been shocked before by bigger things. I've been more shocked in my life, but um, yeah, would love to see them move up in there. So yeah, I think that's about all the um NBA games we have here. I want to do a power rankings a little bit. I mean, I just want to talk about the West now. I think we weren't going to get into that. Thunder are heads above. This team came in there win Madison Square Garden. Let's think about it as their side of the story. I mean, they came Madison Square Garden against the third team in the East, got in there, got a very close, tight win without their All Star. Now they get their All Star back. I'm gonna call him an All Star because he's an All Star level player. Let's just say it as it is. Um, so they're gonna get Jalen Williams back soon. I think soon. I don't know how soon, but they're gonna get him back. He's got a hamstring injury. He's a very good player. They have a bunch of guys. So yeah, I mean, the West is very interesting. I mean, you're gonna. I think for the West is way more easy to look into because it's gonna be Spurs Thunder in that 1-2 because you know the the Spurs are really good, but I feel like the Thunder are better. But we'll get into that. I mean, that's gonna be the 1-2. Probably gonna be the Western Conference Finals. I mean, other teams Rockets are good, but they're led by Kevin Durant. I don't see them doing anything in the playoffs. Um, they're a very well rounded team and a very good team. I'll give them that. But you know, that is that. I mean, the Nuggets, they always are. I think you always got to give them some credit when it comes. I mean, you always got to give them some respect. Jamal Murray's had a fantastic year. Um, Jokic always is fantastic stuff, but you always got to give them some credit. They're champions over there. Um, Lakers, whatever happening down there in Lakerland. Just Luca being crazy, but that's about it. That team is. I want to see who they play the first round. It's going to be a nice watch. I mean, they could go out there and beat the Rockets, but I don't know because the Rockets could definitely just stiff it up defensively, and they now have enough offense to deal with them. Um, and then the Timberwolves, I think they'll beat them defense, and then the offense is enough. And yeah, I think the Lakers are. They aren't as good as the Rockets who they would play, and they don't have the defense to stop a team, stop that Kevin Durant, just period. Pure point blank. They don't have a player that can really not stay in front of Durant, but just guard Durant, man. I mean, Marcus Smart's 2 foot tall. He's a great in basketball. He's a great defender, but man, they're missing that guy. They do have Austin Reeves, who's a heck of a player, but that's about it. They don't have that defensive player, and especially don't have defense player down low. Their defense down low is DeAndre Ayton. That's about it. He might be the worst player I ever saw. Um, yeah, he's pretty bad. He's pretty bad. Um, a bust. He's terrible. That's about it. Um, yeah, the Suns. I mean, Suns are a pleasant surprise. Um, yeah, I think that's about it for the West. That's all we have to really cover. I mean, the Warriors or whatever. That playing tournament's gonna be really rough, but it is what it is. So you want to get into some World Baseball Classic
Yeah, let's
talk?
talk about it. I don't know much about the teams. I don't know much at all. But I think it's worth talking about it and just like,
Yeah, I
are we
mean,
going to watch? How excited are we for it?
I mean, I'm excited. Definitely, Team USA looks really good. I know there's other teams that are good too, but Team USA looks really good. Fun to see. I know it's dumb, but see that many great players play together on one team. I know it's like, oh, duh, but yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's very fun, and they're all competing too, which is cool. That's the cool factor. They're all competing, and they're winning, which is cool. Um, eh, that's the fun thing. That's fun. Um, yeah, I mean, the Dominican Republic has Juan Soto. He's competing for them, so
Yeah, I mean, their roster's loaded. The DR's loaded. USA's loaded. Japan's really good. I'm sure Cuba always has a really good team. Um, I tell you, like, I don't get into it much. I'm gonna try this time. Like 2023, I didn't
man,
watch.
Dominican's loaded. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's arguably the baseball capital of the world, the Dominican Republic.
yeah, it is. But I mean, it's arguably yeah.
I the last time 2023, like I really didn't get into it much, and it's in March. You got March Madness. You got the NCAA tournament coming up. Now it's end of the college
Well, that
basketball
that
regular
trumps everything. I
season,
feel
getting to
like.
conference tournaments. Um, so I guess it depends on how big a college basketball fan you are, but I'm a big college basketball fan. I mean, I'm a big Seton Hall fan, and they're having a good year, and they're on the bubble. Like they're probably not going to make the NCAA tournament, but they still have a chance. So I'm just sports wise locked in on college basketball. I pay attention to the Knicks. Rangers aren't having a good season, having a poor season. I watch some hockey, but I'm really locked into college basketball right now. So, the month of March, it's just tough for me, as big of a baseball fan as I am, to really get into too much baseball.
What I want
And
to see
I've
is I
just
want to
never
watch
been
the
that
USA
into the
games.
World Baseball Classic. I mean, it's during spring training. The players are supposed to be getting ready for the regular season of Major League Baseball. So, I mean, these guys go out there and compete really hard. But like with the pitching, they got to be careful because they're building up this time of year. So I know a lot of people absolutely love it. And I get that. But I've never been that into it. But like I said, this time around, like I'm gonna try to watch it more, particularly Team USA's games, Dominican Republic, Japan, Cuba, like the rest of the teams. They don't really interest me. I'm looking at them like it's those four teams that I'd be most interested in watching. What say you, Jack?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the USA, I'm gonna be really watching. That's fun. That's always fun. Aaron Judge just you have Aaron Judge, Kyle Schwarber, Cal. I mean, that's just insane. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna try to see. I mean, again, Knicks fanatic here. I think that if the Knicks are playing, I got to pick the Knicks over them, and especially you know if it's a game against a team at just Brazil, they don't really have a lot of guys. Even with pictures in this like, app, they don't really have a lot of pictures on the guys. So it doesn't seem like. I mean, they play tough. The teams that they play tough, but it's not really what I'm gonna tune in for. But well, I mean, I'll definitely box score watch the USA games.
Well, even tomorrow night, USA plays Brazil at 8 o'clock. I'm going to be at the Seton Hall St. John's games, the 9 o'clock start at Prudential Center. Like I'm watching Seton Hall tomorrow night. So, I mean, if Seton Hall was on the road and they were playing at the same time, like I'm home on TV watching Seton Hall. I'm not watching the United States game at all. So again, like I want to give it more of a chance this time. I just personally have never been much into it. And again, like maybe that's surprising because I'm a big baseball fan, but uh, I don't know. Again, like it's spring training time. It's just like it's not. Maybe I'm too traditional in my thinking, but it's not time for you know um,
But
tournament
there's gonna be
baseball.
a time. Why would it not be like? I mean, you can't put it in because baseball, the off season drags, so you have to put it at spring training. I mean, you're gonna have to do that.
Yeah, there's really no other time. Like I've thought, like why
You
don't
can't
you?
stick it in the middle of winter because free agency. I mean, I mean, you could, but like,
Well, why don't you do it in the middle of the summer and take a few weeks off, like hockey does with the Olympics? It's probably not feasible, but I've thought that before. Like at least it's in the middle of the summer,
at
but
least, yeah.
the MLB Players Union would never go for it.
What? Why do you think?
Um,
I'm actually. Why?
I don't think they would. I think they would just deem it too disruptive to the season.
Yeah, yeah. I would think so. I mean,
But at least then it's in the middle of baseball season. It's summertime here, but that's never going to happen. It's going to be in March. I mean, March is the only time that they're going to do it. So look, people get excited about it, and there's plenty of people that get really excited about it. I get it. I understand that. I just personally am not that into it. But this time around, I'm going to try to watch a bit more. I'm not watching tomorrow night. And it gets more exciting as you get into the single elimination knockout stage.
when does it end? Do we?
I'd have to look at the schedule.
Because I don't know if it goes in the.
I mean, the pool play is March 5th through 11th.
Yeah,
Pull
and
up
then
Team USA's schedule.
yeah. I mean, it's
I'm trying to pull up their schedule. What does each team play? 4 games?
yeah. Each one their group. But yeah, I mean, it's it's fun. It's fun to see those players. I mean, it's definitely a highlight level. I think that we'll look up and Soto will have 3 blasts against a team. That's cool. I mean, I was like against a major league team that was in spring training, but yeah, it's cool to see all those players. Japan plays at 5 a.m.
So there's 20 teams in it now. So there's 4 groups of 5 teams,
Yeah,
4 pools. So USA's in Pool B, which takes place in Houston. So it's Brazil, Great Britain, Italy, Mexico, and USA. So you play each team in your pool once.
that's just none of them really like excite me. The teams that the U.S. plays excites me.
And then for the knockout stage, it's quarterfinals, semifinals, and final. So 8 teams out of 20 make the knockout stage. So is it the top 2 from each pool?
I would think.
I would think that's how they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think once you get into the single elimination, it'll get really interesting. And then the semifinals and the finals, those I'll really try to tune in. So I think that the whole knockout, definitely USA's games, but then like semifinals, you could have USA, Dominican Republic, Cuba, and Japan. I mean, that'd be a dynamite semifinals.
Yeah. Yeah, those are yeah, those
But then like I'm looking at when they're playing. I mean, they're playing 2 quarterfinals next Friday. I mean, I'm going to be at the Big East tournament semifinals. Like, see what I mean? Like, you're in the heart of college basketball season, and there's a lot of college basketball fans. So, like, okay, I'm at the Garden, or even if you're not at the Garden, there's like Big East tournament semifinals. You have the conference tournaments going on. Then it's March 14th, the next day, conference tournaments. March 16th and 15th, the semifinals. So the 15th is a Sunday, 8 p.m. All right, so that's Selection Sunday, but the selection show for the NCAA tournament at 6 p.m. So all right, you watch the selection show, you can watch the baseball after. And then Monday the 16th, that's a good day. because you don't have any college basketball. And then March 17th is the final. That's the opening round of the NCAA tournament. We have 2 games that night, but that's the opening round. That's the first 4. It's all right. It's the first 4. Like, that's not that big a deal. So you got the WBC.
Yeah, I mean, it's really in the heart of March, and I'm with you. I'll choose. I mean, both things I'm really not big. I mean, don't know a lot about. I mean, baseball. I know a little. Like I know. We could talk about it, but college basketball. Don't know a ton. I kind of just get up to speed at this time, but still, I love basketball.
Yeah.
Um, it's an up and down game, and especially with those players, how those players are playing after it, it's more entertaining than the World Baseball Classic. I don't really care if you think baseball or basketball is more entertaining. That's not a conversation. It's just that these players in college basketball, it's fun to. I mean, it's traditional. The traditional thing is sit down and watch March Madness, and man, I'm so excited for that.
Yeah. I remember a few years ago, USA had a World Baseball Classic game, and the tournament was going on at the same time. I believe it was a Saturday night, and I was with a bunch of friends, and um, some friends were more into the NCAA tournament, others were into the World Baseball Classic, and I was like, guys, like, I want to watch the NCAA tournament. And like, but Frank, you're such a big baseball fan. I mean, look, I'm watching the tournament over the World Baseball Classic, and Seton Hall wasn't in the tournament that year. When Seton Hall's in it, they got a chance to be in it. Like, I'm even more invested in college basketball.
Yeah, it's just man. I mean,
But
college.
the good thing about the World Baseball Classic, like, it jumpstarts baseball season when you have it every 3 years. So spring training, it's like, all right, I'll tune into a little bit of spring training, but not much. I mean, the games are a tough watch, but I'm getting excited for baseball. We're 3 weeks from opening day. So when you do have the WBC, it kind of jumpstarts the season. And I mean, look, it's interesting. A lot of people are into it. I think it's grown. So I think it's been a success. Like, I definitely think it's been a successful tournament, and it's grown over the years. The first one was in 2006. I remember it was a big deal in 2006. I remember that one I was really into because it was new. The one since I haven't been into much, but I think the last one like really took it to a new level. Like, people were really into it. You had that great USA Japan final. So there's a lot of anticipation for this one.
Yeah, there is. I mean, there's a lot. Yeah, there's big time. USA has a loaded team. The Dominican Republic, Japan. We talk about it, man. They got loaded teams.
But just some of these matchups, like USA plays Brazil. Like, Brazil's a soccer nation. It's not much of a baseball nation. U.S. plays Great Britain. Like, Great Britain's not a baseball country. I mean, it's like that matchup's just not interesting.
Yeah,
I can't stand when they have major league games in London. I mean, come on. They had Red Sox Yankees in London several years back now.
yeah,
Mets
they
and
have.
Phillies was there too.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
That's
Great Britain's they're trying to make it a baseball country. It's just not. So USA playing Great Britain just does nothing for me.
um.
So again, it's really going to be the single elimination. That's where it really gets good. I mean, there's
Yeah,
some matchups. I mean, I see Cuba, Puerto Rico. I mean, that's a very interesting matchup. Puerto Rico's. We didn't talk about Puerto Rico. I mean, they're another good team. They're another team that I would think is in the mix to win the tournament, or at least be one of the better teams. So that's an interesting matchup. USA Italy, USA Mexico is a good one, and Mexico's got pretty good baseball.
yeah. Mexico's yeah. Yeah, big countries. Yeah, Canada's not a baseball place.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
Canada, Colombia is a matchup. Like, I mean, just Canada baseball. I'm not too interested in Canadian baseball. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, look, we'll tune in, so we can talk about it and break it down to some degree. Oh, you got Venezuela too. I look at Dominican Republic, Venezuela. So Venezuela's got good baseball. So there's a big divide. Like there's probably maybe like 8 of the teams that are good or really good or great teams, and then it really falls off.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the Med. Yeah, they play against, which is wow. They play against actual MLB teams, which is cool. Just it's weird, but it's cool. Like Mark Vientos playing against his own team. I know it's like it feels a little weird to me, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
I know it's just.
So we'll see tomorrow night when USA plays Brazil. That'll get it going for Team USA.
Yeah, I mean USA plays Brazil. I think USA will just pump a bunch of home runs on them, but we'll see. So is that where we want to get it done? End it. I mean,
yeah, I'll just throw in there about college basketball. Like we'll really get into it next week. Next week we'll be in the heart of the conference tournaments, particularly the big conference tournaments. There's some of the mid-major conferences that are starting their conference tournaments now and then over the weekend. So next week it really heats up. And then again, Selection Sunday is March 15th. So we're 10 days away from that. So right now it's heating up, and it's really interesting. You got the end of the regular season. Teams are playing their final regular season game. Seton Hall, St. John's tomorrow night. It's a huge game. St. John's is playing for the Big East regular season title. It's going to be either them or UConn winning it. Seton Hall's playing for an NCAA tournament bid. I mean, they're on the bubble, but they're very much on the outside looking in. They got a chance, though. I mean, if they could beat St. John's tomorrow, that'd be a quad 1 win. They got 2 quad 1s. They need more. So you're going to need that one. And then it's the Big East tournament. So for Seton Hall, I'll just talk about them. They're my team. They're definitely going to have to win tomorrow, and they have to win the quarterfinal of the Big East tournament, which will be a winnable game. Not an easy one, but winnable. Looking at DePaul or Creighton or Providence, I believe, in that 4-5 matchup. Then Seton Hall semifinals, either going to get UConn or St. John's. That'll be very tough, but Seton Hall was really competitive with UConn twice. They had him on Saturday going into that game. I mean, Seton Hall got hosed by the officials. I'm telling you, if you saw that game. But look, I mean, they got an uphill climb. But if Seton Hall could then get that semifinal victory, beat either UConn or St. John's, and the first time Seton Hall played St. John's, they were up 15 points with like 15 minutes left. So they definitely can beat those teams. But I would say Seton Hall at least has to get to the final of the Big East tournament, but they may even have to win it, which, again, it's unlikely, but it's not impossible. So this time of year, college basketball, it's really exciting. That bubble, the 1 seeds are, I guess, pretty much not totally locked in. I mean, you got Arizona, you got Duke, and who's the other one? I'm drawing a blank here, Jack. I'm just talking off the top of my head.
I'm just loading.
Michigan. Yeah, of course. Yeah, Michigan, Arizona, and Duke. They're locked into a 1 seed. It's that 4th 1 seed that's open. Like UConn right now has it. But there could be a couple other teams in the mix, particularly Florida, the defending national champion, who has come on real strong. They didn't start the season real well, but they've come on really strong. And Florida looks like a team that legitimately will have a chance to repeat. Going to be tough. There's other teams in the mix at the top of it. But, Florida's a legitimate threat to go deep, get to the Final Four, and possibly win it all again. So, again, Jack, we'll really get into it next week. And then the following week will be the NCAA tournament. So we'll have about a month or so of a lot of college basketball talk.
Yeah, so we'll get all into all of that in the next episode where March Madness starts getting not March Madness, like Heart of College basketball. We'll get into that, as you said. We'll get more NBA as the Knicks take on some more teams. and then that then we'll get into a lot of stuff, a lot of sports, NFL, free agency. I know we haven't talked about the NFL in a long time, but free agency starts. Um, that's cool. We'll
And
get into
opening day
that.
is 3 weeks away. So we'll make our final
Yeah,
baseball
yeah,
predictions, teams, awards. So we'll do that before opening day.
yeah, and we'll do that too. So that's it. Have a nice day. Peace out. And that's it.